Okay, quick easy assignment here today. Solve the inequality graph and label. Okay, I do want the labels on the graphs here on this assignment. It's the least you could do. It's not a very long assignment. The absolute value of x is less than or equal to 2. So we have absolute value, and instead of just an equal sign where I say, okay, x equals 2, x equals negative 2, we have an inequality. Okay, makes it a little more complex. So you're still going to make your table, and you're going to put x, because that's what's inside the absolute value. You know, all you have is an x. Okay, but instead of writing equals equals, we need to write our inequality. But over here, we are going to flip that sign, and that always happens. And I'll explain, for reasons I'll explain here in a bit. I'll explain why we flip that here in a bit, but for now, you flip that sign. Now, here's the box. There's nothing outside the box like there was in the last lesson. I mean, there's a 2 over here, so there's no need to bring in D, okay? I mean, that was for yesterday. The reason that was for yesterday is because I had crap outside there. I just have this 2 outside here. So nothing going, so the D is pointless to bring into this problem, okay? Like if I had a 5 in front of there, I'd bring in 5D, okay? But it's just, it'd just be D by itself. There'd be no purpose. Okay, so I use 2. I go 2 and negative 2. Now I'm going to explain why the sign has flipped here, okay? You don't need to write this down, just watch. That right there is a less than sign. With an absolute value less than means we go towards 0, okay? That means the distance shrinks. So just watch here, okay? So that means less than 2 from 0. It means you go towards 0. But you could also, with distance, you also have to account for negative 2, and you could go towards 0 there. Now going that way is less than, okay? But going that way is the opposite way, so that's greater than, okay? So that's why you always need to flip the sign there. And then those are the 2 answers, but they need to be graphed. Okay. Read the board, okay? The board in the classroom. I still have that stuff here. Make sure you read it carefully. That's eating the numbers, so it goes this way. That is eating the x, so it goes this way. Okay, I do want this labeled here today, one time only. You need to put x in the middle. You put negative 2 on one side, you put positive 2 on the other. You need to eat that number every time that happens. And then you eat the x. Okay? That's always how the signs will be lined up when they go towards you, when they combine together like that. Okay, next problem. So within the absolute value we have x. Now I have greater than or equal to, but over here I'm going to have less than or equal to. So the symbol was greater than or equal, okay? And again, there's no point in bringing D in, okay, because I have just a 5 on the other side of the inequality. There's nothing on this side of the inequality outside the absolute value. So I go 5 and negative 5. Now here again is why the sign flipped. Now we had a greater than sign, okay? Greater than means instead of going towards 0, you go away from 0, so the distance would grow. So I have 5 and negative 5. Now here we go away from 0, so I could go away from 0 that way, which is greater than, because like 6, 7, 8, 9. But I could also go away from 0 this way, but that's going that arrow is going the opposite way of that arrow, so that is why the sign is flipped. All you really need to remember is that the sign flips when you do the negative side. Okay, and you're pretty well good to go. So on one side you have 5, the other side you have negative 5. Circle, fill it in. That eats the x, so that goes this way. That is eating the number, so it will go back the other way. Now here's how you label it when they go apart. You write the word or in between. Then all you do is copy these 2 things down, okay? So right here, and then copy that down with your negative 5. Okay, that means x can be any number that way or any number that way. It's like the opposite of that graph right there. pretty much all you do in this lesson. Okay, now let's move her along quicker. Okay, so I've kind of done my best to explain why the sign flips, because again, less than goes towards 0, so towards 0 that way with the positive, but then that one would come from the opposite direction, so that's why it flips. Same thing here, away from 0, but that would also go away from 0, but that's going the opposite way. Okay, so inside you just have x. Instead of equals, you put your inequality, then you flip the inequality. There's no point in bringing d in, okay? Because if you make the box, there's nothing outside the box. The 7 doesn't count. That's on the other side, okay? I just use 7 over here on the table. Okay, so don't overcomplicate it by bringing in d when you don't need to. I only bring in d for the box when there's crap outside. Okay, so I have 7 and negative 7. Fill them in. Eats a number, so it's going this way. It's eating the x with the negative 7, so it goes this way, so they again come together. When they come together, you put x in the middle. You put negative 7 on one side, positive 7 on the other. You eat that number, then you eat x. Okay. They'll be the same sign. They will be when it comes together like that. Okay, next problem. Really, it's pretty simple today. It'll get a little more complex tomorrow. So you got x greater than or equal to, then flip it. And again, bring in the d would be pointless because there's nothing with the d, okay? You can label it, but I'm not going to bring it in. I just go 4, okay? 4, negative 4. So 4 on one side, negative 4 on the other. Okay, eats the x with the 4, so it's going to go this way. Here it's eating the number negative 4, so it would go back the other way. So I write the word or, okay, and you just copy these down. So that's what you write above the 4. That's what you write above the negative 4. I want to see the labels today, one time only. Okay, next problem. Whoa. Make your table, okay? So x, the first thing, when you see an absolute value with a letter inside, you need your table. So instead of equals, you write the any greater than or equal to, then less than or you flip it over there. Okay, there's no point in bringing in the d because I know it's 12. So 12, negative 12, and then you're good. So I could be at positive 12, I could be at negative 12. With the 12, it's eating x, it goes this way. With the negative 12, it's eating the number, so it goes this way. So you write the word or, okay, and then you just label them separately. You basically copy these two things down. So above the 12, you copy that down. Above the negative 12, you copy that down. Okay, next, 20. 20 is quite the distance, but that's okay. Less than or equal, greater than or equal. Okay, you start with that sign, but you flip it on the other side. So again, there's no point in really using the d because there's no operations with d, so it would just be 20 and negative 20. 20 is your distance. Okay. Yesterday you had to bring in d to find the distance. The d is 20. Okay. Okay, so on one side you get 20, the other side you have negative 20. 20 eating the number that way. Negative 20 is eating the x that way, so they will come together. So when they come together, you put just x one time in the middle, you put negative 20 on one side, 20 on the other. You eat 20, then you eat x. Okay. Okay, 2 more. Knock it out quick. So you got x, that's all you got inside, that's nice, okay? So 8, so greater than or equal, less than or equal, and there's no point with the d because it's just 8, okay? So 8, negative 8. you're ready to graph, you don't have to really get x by itself. It's already by itself. So 8, negative 8. Fill it, eats x with the 8. Then you know that one's going the other way. They'll either spread apart or come together. Okay, and that's an OR. Okay, so x 8, put that sign there. X negative 8, put that symbol there. You're just basically copying the answers. Okay, last one. So we got x less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Okay, so again, D's 4, so you can just bring 4 here. You have a distance. D stands for distance, and you just have 4. You don't have any other numbers there. Okay, so I have 4, negative 4. Eats a number, eats the x. Okay. So again, x in the middle, negative 4, 4. Eats 4, eats x. Really, you don't have to use your calculator for anything. Okay, you got 1 through 4. When you're done, you're going to click on the second video I emailed you. And